So, we'll be playing the new Reconquered campaign. I was sick recently, I still don't feel super well, but it's better. Now I should be able to read more things, which is important. So let's go ahead and now with the new Reconquered. I'm not sure how many people are aware, how it works. I made a video on it. Some people already play it. You can get it in Haven, it's a new post. Yeah, I feel better, but it's still not completely fine, but it's better than it was. So if we start a new campaign, we click that button and now we can see Reconquered campaign. So we'll be playing that. We now have this. If you beat a mission, you can go here and replay it. Another feature is that you keep up to 2000 denarii each time you beat a mission to advance to the next one. The game will carry over up to 2000, but also your salary is scaled by 10, meaning that instead of paying yourself 2 denarii, you would be paying yourself 20, and gifts will cost 2000 instead of 200 for the lavish one. Okay? It's there to promote the funds actually playing a part in cities coffers, which normally they don't. But usually I'm not gonna be paying myself much of a salary, and there's also one additional step you can charge yourself, so that favor might be a little bit easier. If your city makes a lot of money, you can take some of it with the salary. And also another feature of that is that Colosseum games are now viable, because the money does not scale for their cost, but it scales for the cost of gifts and also your wages. So that's why, and we'll be starting over from the start, as I said. So let's go ahead and just begin the campaign.
Historical background. The year is 706 BC, and Rome is a kingdom that has been at war with its Etruscan neighbors almost constantly throughout its history. In order to increase its influence and profits to be able to assert its local dominance, Rome will need better access to trade. Since the only access to profitable sea routes is the river of Tiber, Romans have decided to establish their first true colony. This new site is to be called Ostia and will be located close to the shores of the Tyrrhenian Sea. The biggest enemy of Rome at this time of its history was the Etruscan city of Veii. Its distance of only 16 kilometers from Rome made it a very threatening contender for regional dominance. Romans eventually conquered Veii after many wars in 396 BC. Instructions. Welcome, Governor. I have entrusted you with a very important assignment. Our city needs to grow rich and prosperous. To achieve this, we will establish a colony that will facilitate trade with our more distant neighbors. I believe that you have been picked from the candidates as a very promising and talented individual. Therefore, I will refrain from instructing you on the complete basics of building a proper Roman city. Details of this assignment are as follows. Set up a profitable trading colony by extracting local clay and timber and grow wheat for export. I will ask you often for subsidizing our war effort against the Etruscans as well. So make sure to retain my favor by promptly fulfilling these requests. After the city has reached 800 population, I will allow Ostia to enjoy some perks of Roman culture, which is your first and most important objective. Good luck, Governor. May Jupiter guide your talent to greatness.
So we got edicts on even on the first map. You might have noticed the voice is different. We don't have the original voices. Hey, Alex, welcome. Yeah, with a teacup. Rome will send you 100 denarii monthly to fund your city expansion. So this is like the how to call it, subsidy, when we don't have to explain that yet. And then agrarian urgents, so workshops are unavailable for the whole duration of this scenario. Education as well as entertainment buildings are locked until the first objective for 800 populations are achieved. There is a lot of tips for how to manage Augustus specifically. I'm not going to read all this. There are some credits, there is tips. If you're new to RC, you should definitely read this. It's very, very important. I can't stress enough how important this is, but it's not for me because I've played it before. We've played Augustus, so we don't need to read it. Hey, you're welcome. Hamburger ads. The Pepsi Horse ads. Alright. Let's check our salary first. I'll keep it on 20. And we'll not be using the pre-made block. You don't need to build anything else on this. But let's build something a little bit different. Let's build it here. So let's take a look. Something like this. Perfectly, I would probably incorporate some terrain into it. There's this rock, so we can have that. I'll probably do L shape. This is just to show how to plant proper blocks, because a lot of people starting RC don't know what proper block is. Proper block is not a 9x9. It is actually a block that makes use of the maximum potential of your walkers, which in this instance was gonna be this L shape. Mind you, we only need 250 population, so I will not be adding side houses, because that would be way too many people, and we don't want to overshoot that limit too much, because it will get very annoying if we have to remove houses. I don't like to remove houses, usually. But this will do. Now we want to fill in the houses themselves. This is a bit awkward, but that's fine. We can use the 1x1s for services. Not a big deal. We don't want to add that yet because it would merge. We can try hard with 1-1, but I'm not gonna do that. It's fine. Give them temples. We need to put them somewhere. At the start, it's okay to have them in our block. Later, I would usually put them somewhere else. Use those 1x1s. I'm gonna go for 2 prefects. For public order reasons. Send this up so there's a granary later. We'll start the bathhouse already. Because Augustus doesn't like things. Yeah, that will do. We can have a dock here or here, depends later. For now we only can trade by land anyway. I might actually add those houses because this is not a law, so it is gonna speed up the immigration a little bit. Let's do it. Might as well. Notes in the old school scroller box is awesome. Is it? I mean, you've played the new RC, right?
The year is 706 BC, and Rome is a kingdom that has been at war with its.
It has its own little category, but yeah. For anyone who wasn't here, as I said, after each mission, what I'll do is I'll end the stream and then start it again, so it splits, so I can use it for YouTube. Something that goes together with it. I will ask you not to talk about politics today. No elections, no nothing like that. If you want to talk about it, we can talk about it on Discord, not here. And same for any other controversial things. I don't think that's a huge thing to ask for, so... Ban me from the channel. Yeah. I generally don't ban people. Only if they behave like children. Maybe not. Right. Well, if you have some time, maybe you should play it. When we get some unemployment, we already have some unemployment. Let's check. Rome. It is going to buy clay, timber, and wheat. I usually like to start by putting clay here. This is a good area to use for that. We want to have warehouse around here. Go with 4. And a warehouse. We want it so that it naturally leads to traders towards the exit, which can be here. And to rotate it, I will always cover the thought process, or at least I'll try to. If there's something that you want to ask about, you can ask about it here or in the comments. It's possible I forget something, but so basically this little roof section, you can rotate buildings in Augustus. The roof is where the traders or walkers like the cars will prefer to interact with. And so that's why it's rotated to face whenever direction I want. Otherwise, if it's like on this side, if I had a road here later, then all the traders would have to go around it and leave. Same thing with the actual trade route setup, is that you want them to arrive, trade, leave as soon as possible. There is more to it. With imports, we are not going to be doing any imports though, so no need isn't to talk about it yet. However, it is important if you want your caravan throughput to be as high as possible, because how this works is it's dependent on the city, how much quota does it buy and sell together in Augustus. That's how many traders or caravans the city can send to your map, to your city at the same time. There are thresholds for it, I don't remember them from my top of my head. However, it can be important, especially on later maps when they get larger, as the sooner caravan can leave, the sooner another one can spawn with fresh capacity. Standard capacity is 8 units of goods for export and import. They can do both, so 16 total for each caravan. And so if they already traded, you want them to leave the city as soon as possible so another one can spawn, because each year you can only send this amount, right? So that's the yearly quota. Another thing, we always want to disable all the different walkers, even if it's not relevant like the armor walker, just keep it clean. Only land traders interact with this warehouse and it will accept the specific things we want. And I'm gonna do 16 wheat here as well, because we want to export wheat to Rome. Now, we want to connect our roads. I'll do it this way, and we want to set up our services, be it, you know, engineer, prefect. And how we want to do it, if this was longer, putting it at the end of the line means that they will consistently cover it. If it's in the middle, sometimes their coverage will not be as good, especially with something like a prefect. The lighter blue, this is a path preview in Augustus. The lighter blue it is, the less consistent the coverage is. This is still fine, but just something to keep in mind for later. So we'll just put in some services. We got the basics set up. Let's go ahead and merge that house. Much more interesting topics to discuss, like literally anything else. That was all. So we want our people to move in so we can water them. This is a setting for all houses merged in Augustus. We want to generally, so the block template, this can look very different. This is not even the best setup. Normally this could be extended like so, and you could still put houses on the side, not in the middle. Keep 2 tiles dead zone in the middle. Why is it like this? Why is it not 3? Because some people like to put like a big statue 3x3 in the middle, right? Yeah. But the reason for this is that this temple, for example, it spawns a walker, right? And he roams the block. The walkers that roam are not truly random. When they spawn, they have destinations, like destination walkers, but they don't go through roadblocks or off-road. But they see 8 tiles distance in each side as a potential destination, and they'll try to walk towards it when you build it. And so that's why this block is the best, because they see this as natural endpoint and they go, reach this, and then they cover the rest of the block by coming home. Okay, that's why 22x6 works.
Food soon, I'm leaving this city.
Same as the distance, if it's too large, it will start to break. But this is completely fine, you see it consistently covers the whole thing. It could even be slightly larger. Can't wait to play, go to Damarung and play me some, build me some red tanks, yeah, the super weapons. I don't know how the AI will react to a new system though, because Paradox usually adds a system and then the AI just does not, it does not know how to interact with the system. And it's essentially only the player interacts with the system. You know what I mean. It's in most Paradox games when they release a new DLC. But we'll see, I want to give them benefit of the doubt. The real land battleships, yeah. Probably super vulnerable to cast though, if they make them like the railway guns. Because that's why it wasn't really made. Well, they made like a prototype, but that's why it wasn't employed, is that it was extremely vulnerable to cast. It's a massive target, and due to its low speed, it would be pretty easy to bomb with aircraft. And also slow, but I wouldn't mind slow, because you know how I build things, I do Space Marines, so I would actually use it. But probably not for the whole army though, because I imagine building one is gonna take considerable resources. Okay, we have some resources. Now, we didn't open that trader, even though it's cheap yet. Reason being, the traders only recalculate their destinations if they are interacting with a warehouse or they arrive. So, now we can ensure that the very first caravan that spawns is already gonna trade, and that's good. So let's go ahead and do it. We'll sell everything, even the wheat that we are not making yet. All houses have merged, so let's give them fountains. This will be pretty simple to water with just 2. And we want to put out some farms. We also want to give... No, desirability seems good. Need some more workers, so let's wait for people to arrive. This is still not a great block, but it will be fine once they evolve. It will be enough capacity. This mission does not require much, so we should not overshoot the goal too much, even if it means we play a little bit slower than normal. Because normally more people is good, very good. We always want to expand. Not so much on this mission and the next one after this, because the goal is so low that you really don't want to have unemployment later. So it's better to stay. You would have to remove houses later. I really don't like removing houses. It feels awful. Now we have some labor, let's get some wheat. That's gonna be the granary, but we can just do this. Let's do a roadblock. I might do some decorations if I feel like it, we'll see. Put on our services. I want everybody to be happy camper. Well, they won't be for long, we'll give them food relatively quickly, but for now, it's like it is. Market lady access, nothing else, and let's accept wheat, full granary of it. I want to make a couple more farms. They'll prioritize the granary, by the way. At least I think so. So that's okay. As long as we keep selling these goods, we should be good. And we want to feed them, so we can use more industry. But it's best to wait a little bit until we get at least a little bit more food. Wheat is, of course, very good. I don't think I need to cover it, but it's double the yield on central climates, and this is a central map. So there's gonna be a lot of output. Especially the first feeding cycle can take a little while, though. Usually I would do 2 markets for 20x6 block. This is more consistent. We don't have statues yet, so wait with desirability options. Could go with some Lararia. They're a bit expensive, but It's okay. Once we reach 750 population, we want to build more temples, because temples are 750 per god, the small ones. With other monuments it's a bit different. We'll talk about it when that becomes a feature. Good overseas trade. The Roman governor of Ostia, I, tyrant of Croton, in my great wisdom have decided that both our people should benefit from mutual trade and exchange of goods. Traders have been instructed to make necessary preparations, and and your ships will always be welcome in our harbors, assuming you pay us the trading permit fee, of course. The city of Croton, which can be found in northern Italy, southern Italy offers trade relations. Those have been unlocked. Yes, we could read this. It's very good if you're interested in history. I am, but I also don't want to read all these because there is a lot. So I'm gonna leave that to everyone to read for themselves. And we want to monitor the walkers. This does not look great, so let's go ahead and close that. And we need to achieve 800 population, which should happen relatively quickly. Check out our housing advisor. Yeah, we already have it, and these are still gonna evolve. They need some desirability, but I want 2x2 here. What we could do is could get some hedges. Altar is like a lararium. Lararium offers you 10 worship space for all gods per single one. They need to be placed within 2 tiles of a road to benefit from prefect and engineer coverage. Altars give 50 worship capacity for that god, but it's essentially the same efficiency as lararium because you need to build all the altars anyway. Let's put our Ceres temple or altar here. We want our dock to go there eventually, but for now we can just have Neptune here. Mercury, we have our trading here, so I'll put it there. And Mars can be in the block itself, and Venus as well. Do you enjoy playing the game U-Boat? It's way too mechanically nerdy for my liking. It's not new. It's been out for a while, but it's came out of early access recently. But I think I'm way too bad for that. If you're super into, you know, submarines, it's probably good. But it was not a pick for me. I'm not that interested in it, and it really leans heavily into accuracy with how it works and all the things you have in that game. So it's not my cup of tea. Amanda statues 3 gods. Okay, the altars, yeah, that's new. Well, new. It's been in the unstable for a while. King requests wheat. Governor, crops have failed and citizens of Rome are starving. I commanded you stockpile 2 cartloads of wheat in Ostia for immediate dispatch. So bring some measure of relief for the city and avoid violent turmoil. So when we stockpile 2 cartloads of wheat, it will automatically be sent to Rome. This will grant us 15 favor, 1500 denarii, and we will get more quota per year, one-time event. And until we do it, we lose 1 favor every 2 months. That's fine. I'll let it fill up naturally. We should have the production to sustain that without any problems. And we are about to unlock our objective. Yeah, the altars are relatively new, but it's in the unstable. It's been there for a while. They are not super game changing. It's like an lararium efficiency wise. If assuming you don't want to make other gods pissed, you always want to build all altars anyway. So it's essentially functionally the same as a lararium, even with space efficiency, cost, everything. For Roman colony, Ostia has been great success under your guidance. I decree that educated citizens are to be sent from Rome to educate and entertain the people of Ostia and promote proper Roman culture. Furthermore, you can now levy taxes from the local population to fund further expansion, continue auxiliary duties, and bring the citizens of Ostia higher standard of living. We unlock theater, amphitheater, actor school, gladiator school, plaza, statues, and forums. I will be going for pottery imports. We need small castles, but we can always exceed that. We need 1250 population, active theater and school to set your prosperity, not reach, but set to 35, which is fine. We unlock statues, so let's give them some points. Let's get a medium statue. I think we even have plaza on this first mission. We will not have that for later. Until we build a Grand Temple to Mercury. It's okay. Let's get a school and a theater. We want to go for amphitheater as well. He's gonna take this wheat. Which is fine. We want to expand to the sea exports as soon as we have extra labor. For now it's a bit tight still. Thinking of using my dictator stream on the game, but if you don't enjoy it, and to search for something else. I have a lot of games on the Steam account. You can ask for whatever, even if you want to, we could play that. But it's not, as I said, I did not feel like that game is for me at all. I tried it and just couldn't enjoy it because it's too nerdy. Starvation avoided. Thanks to series farmers report, harvest should have been normal. Thank you for the prompt dispatch and for me that Rome will buy excess production from Austria to prevent future incidents like this. So we got extra money, that's fine. We should think about exports to Croton, which is clay and timber. Let's go ahead and open it already. I could have waited with this, but it's okay. Let's get our dock. Now, there are some things to go with docks. So this map is very small, but normally it is a good idea to build it as close to the entry point for the ships, which is indicated usually by the flotsam. We build it as close to that as possible. Reason being, you want the ships to come, trade, leave as soon as possible. They can leave through the exit point, but also through the entry point. If it's the closest where they trade, they will leave the same way they came. So that's what we would normally do. Plus, we want to put our warehouse adjacent to the dock. If so, with land traders, the hindrance to your quota usually is ping-ponging. When they go to trade somewhere, like they would sell you something here and they would come back to buy this and they leave. That's gonna increase their time they spend on the map by like 50%. It's awful. You want to prevent that. With docks, the limiting factor in your quota throughput is your dockers, because ship will dock and then the dockers have to travel to a warehouse where the traders are accepted and they take the goods, come back. Each ship can trade 12 units. So if your ships are wasting time staying at port, that's wasting potential quota. That's why we don't allow dockers anywhere else on the map. That's why we don't want to build a warehouse anywhere further than 1 or 2 tiles away from the dock itself, because it would impact our quota in a very negative fashion. So we will be building this. We want some production structures around here, so let's see. It's quite nice to watch, but I'm not sure if it's if I'd enjoy playing by myself. Depends how much you like U-boats. I thought I would like it, because it allows you to play as the bad people, but I just couldn't bring myself to enjoy it. So let's get some timber as well. By the way, you don't need the trees. If you build a timber yard, you can remove the trees. That last one I'll keep for potential expansion. Set this up. This is gonna allow sea trade, only sea traders. We import some pottery, 8 units should be enough, clay and timber. It's gonna be stockpiled in here. And then we want to make sure our houses can benefit from this. I'll be putting a warehouse in the block itself. Normally I would put it somewhere here, but didn't account that much for space. And we can use, I don't want to use a depot on this map yet, so what I'll do is I'll just get it with a carrier, because he's not gonna have any other tasks, he should be able to do it. We are selling that, we will be importing some pottery. And we want to give them extra entertainment. If you need labor, we can build more industry. He wants more clay, that's fine. We can stockpile that, already importing pottery. I like tanks more for sure, yeah. As I said, I would not recommend that game unless you are super big into U-boats. If you are, then great, that game's gonna really scratch your itch, but I just don't know enough about them to enjoy it. Now this, we need to, you see, I usually like to use my native risk to be able to see behind buildings. This is like if you play Stronghold and you press spacebar, it minimizes the layout so we can see behind the granary, for example. So what I'll do is I'll put down a roadblock here, and we want extra services for this. So we cover those farms. We shouldn't need all this. There's more than enough food, but it's good to have. Also, we do have plaza, but our money is not looking great at the moment, because pottery imports. I'll probably be keeping pottery imports around 4 units in the city, and we want to put down a forum so that people get taxed, and we will pay them slightly more money. If you pay them more than Rome, 2 more than Rome, you will get a +1 prosperity gain per year as well. Normally this would take a very long time to reach, but once we have theater and a school active, it should set up prosperity to this. Also, objectives have the exclamation mark right next to them. We need a population, we don't have the pop yet. And then it's gonna set our stuff. Very simple, not much to really mess up in the first scenario. Our last thing to achieve is gonna be peace. Gods are gonna get upset soon, so let's build them some extra temples. As I mentioned, 750 population per each one. We have some extra space. We don't need more housing, so normally this would be great for extra houses, but we don't need so many houses, so might as well put it here. Rome pays more wages, so we will still keep 2 extra. Put on some extra timber yards. We want some labor. This could use more industry. So why don't we add that? So as I said, very simple, the first mission, we just need peace. Prosperity was achieved through the objectives, so it's alright. We can even exceed it, in fact, because we have small insula. We could have stayed with small cast sign, that would be fine. this Ostia? This is Ostia. Hey, Dragorol. Yeah, it is meant to be simple, which it is. But so are a lot of other maps in the new Reconquered, especially the early ones. As long as you know what you are doing, you should not be having difficulty. What surprises? What surprises? You just need peace, so that's January. Peace is a timer, essentially. If your last rating is peace to be achieved, that means that you've beat it as soon as possible. Have a little bit of unemployment, but it's negligible. Should be fine. So as I said, after this map is beaten, we click the victory message, we listen to it, and then we will cancel the stream and I'll start a new one for the next map. The whole reason is to put it on YouTube, so that's why. Some events, that's fine. Send him the timber. We are done here. On the later maps I might decorate some more. This one is relatively rudimentary. November. And we accept our promotion.
Governor, that was a remarkable performance. With Ostia supporting the Roman economy, there can be no doubt about the future success of Rome as a regional power. However, your talents would be wasted governing such a rudimentary settlement. Onwards to Brundisium.
Okay. So as I said, let's end the stream and start again so that this can